everybody, it's Monday, December 21st, and that means it's time for another episode of Chatting with Agnes and Cecilia. I'm one of your co-hosts, Cecilia Sepp. I'm the principal and founder of Road Tulips Nonprofit Consulting. My co-host and friend, Agnes Amos Coleman, can't be with us today. So hey, Agnes, we miss you. Hope you're doing well. We're here today with our guest, Sanjay Deo of 24/7 Security, to talk with us about ransomware, which is the third part of our three-part cybersecurity series. If you missed part one on phishing or part two on how to use public Wi-Fi, those episodes are available on our YouTube channel. But today, our topic is a day in the life of ransomware. Sanjay's been a frequent guest and we love having him. And so you're familiar with Sanjay, but I want Sanjay to say hello and say a little bit about himself and his company.
Hey, Cecilia, missing Agnes. Love being on the show. You folks are amazing, hilarious, and very educational. My name is Sanjay Deo. I'm the founder president of 24/7 Security. I've been doing security for over 25 years. And we help customers understand what is cybersecurity. We help them in fixing cybersecurity and managing the risk because of cybersecurity. Ransomware, the topic of today, is a very pervasive, predominant topic. It has been deemed as number one threat to any business, small business, medium business, large business, government agencies. And I'm sure you have all seen different cities, different school districts being attacked by hackers and ransomware being perpetrated. Think about it as an object getting kidnapped. You don't have access to the object and you have to pay money to get the object back. And that's what happens. Ransomware in cybersecurity basically means that the hackers are able to get inside your network. They are able to encrypt your laptop, desktop, and servers. They will put a message on the screen which says that your computer has been encrypted. Pay us X amount of dollars in Bitcoins, and you will then have a key that you can use to decrypt all your files. So if you don't have that key, you cannot decrypt your files. If you don't have your files, you can't do business. If you can't do business, you can't make money. So as long as that was the issue, everything was fine. You know, money, okay. But in the last 60 days, we probably saw the first death because of a ransomware attack in Europe. And so now ransomware is taking a fatal angle, and that's why everybody's worried about it.
You said death, Sanjay. I'm not familiar with that incident. Could you give us a little more info on that?
Yes, so there is an incident probably in the last 4 to 6 weeks where a person was in an ambulance on the way to the hospital. And as you know, in the ambulance, the first responders start doing triage. And so they call ahead to the hospital and they say, hey, we will be there in 5 minutes. When they called the nearest hospital, the hospital basically said, hey, we can't receive the patient because all of our systems have a ransomware. We cannot operate the electronic medical record system. We will not be able to deliver patient care. So you need to go to a different hospital. Don't come here. And so as the ambulance took a turn and started going to the other nearer hospital, that's when the patient passed away.
Wow.
So that has actually made ransomware now in the list of things where we call that internet is getting weaponized. So, you know, as long as it was just money, it was okay, but now it is getting weaponized, and a hacker sitting thousands of miles away can actually kill you using ransomware. That's something which is now becoming pretty worrisome.
Well, and you just made me think of something else, Sanjay, the computerization of healthcare devices. So for example, I know someone who has a defibrillator inserted in their chest, and this person told me their doctor uses a computer to monitor their heart and see if they need to activate the defibrillator. we've all heard stories about these devices being hacked or car computers being hacked. So it could logically follow that ransomware could be used for medical devices such as these that are used to monitor people and maintain their health. Is that a real possibility?
So we saw the first rendering of that. If you are a follower of Homeland, the
Mm-hmm.
series on TV, and I believe at the end of season 2 or season 3, I can't remember exactly which season, they showed that the hackers were able to take over the pacemaker of the vice president. And that basically led to, for real,
Hmm.
and I think it is a real story, that Dick Cheney, our then vice president, had to go and get his pacemaker disconnected. So he did have the pacemaker, but the ability to control a pacemaker by the physician from outside without an invasive procedure,
Mm-hmm.
he had got it disconnected so nobody could access it without basically touching him or getting into him, because there are various protocols, either Bluetooth or ultra high frequency, that can use to control these implants.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, the answer to your question is yes, it is a real possibility. And there is now a whole new profession, what is called medical device cybersecurity engineering, because every medical device is connected to the internet. When you walk into a regular patient room, when you walk into an ER, when you walk into the hospital, every bed has somewhere between 5 to 10 connected devices. And all of those are accessible on the internet. And so,
Wow.
yes, it poses a big problem.
Wow. Another reason why I don't go to the doctor very often. Seriously, it's like I'm adding that one to the list. But I do think it has definitely ransomware, as we know, is very frustrating for those who are a victim of it, whose companies are taken over. It's not something that will not happen to nonprofits. If somebody will put ransomware in a hospital system, they will definitely do the same thing to a nonprofit. I've also talked with people who have seen this happen at associations and other types of nonprofits where they're also hit with ransomware. Individual consultants like myself have had their sites attacked by ransomware and had to work with security experts like Sanjay to get their website back. So it is real, it is out there, and it seems to be on the increase. And I think it is because we are in a increasingly connected world on the internet. So the good side of the internet also covers up the seamy underside. And why it is in any part of human civilization, there always has to be a seamy underside, I don't know. But it seems to be everywhere. And ransomware, that we had kind of called this a day in the life of ransomware. So Sanjay, let's say Rogue Tulips, I come into work, I go to log in to my system and I get a ransomware message. So that's the beginning of my day in ransomware. What might happen next?
So I was just going to basically, like you said, nonprofits and things like that. Over the last 2 years, I've covered about 20 episodes of ransom, all the way down to a two-person pharmacy,
Wow.
to a four-person doctor's office, to a publicly traded company, which basically had 400 servers with ransomware in a matter of 6 hours. So I've seen the gamut. I have negotiated ransomware on behalf of my clients with the ransom bad actors.
Mhm.
And so let's just talk through. I don't ever expect, I don't, I pray that you never get it, but a company like your size,
Mhm.
very similar to the two-person pharmacy that I dealt with. Well, let's use those guys, not you, um, Cecilia. Uh, they basically they bought a business and they had two desktops in their office, very small pharmacy. And at about 8 o'clock one Thursday night, I got a call that, hey, I can't access a friend of mine told me to call you. I'm trying to log in and I get this message that all of my files are encrypted and I need to send an email to this address so they can give me a ransom note, which will tell me how much money I need to pay, and then I can get my key. The issue right now is um, I don't have Bitcoins. So what they did was those two gentlemen actually sent an email to that email address. They got a note back, and the hacker asked for $7,000 in Bitcoins. So think about and it's it's amazing. The next sentence that I'm going to say is the hackers are not discriminating. Whether you are one person small company, whether you are a Fortune 500 company, whether you're a large hospital system, whether you're a government, right? They are actually scanning all known IP addresses, and whoever has the weakest cybersecurity, they go after them because it's easy, right? And so the challenge over here is now they're asking for money in Bitcoins because they want to keep it anonymous. So everybody has to think, whether it's a church, whether it's a not-for-profit, whether it's a charitable organization, do you run your business and do you keep afloat, or do you have a Bitcoin wallet in which you're storing Bitcoin so that you can pay ransom at some point in time? So the next step basically was they called me and said, hey, do you have any Bitcoins? And I said, why would you think I have any Bitcoins? It's like this hacker is looking for Bitcoins and you're a cybersecurity expert. I said, no, there are specific companies that help you do this. And so we actually, I mediated and I helped them get to a company that had a Bitcoin wallet. They were able to do a trade. There was a lawyer involved because the money had to go in escrow. They were able to exchange. Bitcoins are basically a series of numbers.
Okay.
So basically, it's not coins, it's not a note. Bitcoins are a series of digital signature-like thing. And so they got a piece of paper that was equivalent to $7,000. They were then able to take those numbers and send it to the hackers. And it took them about 24 hours before they got the key back. So think about it, right? So one desktop or two desktops, two people, and here's this new world of Bitcoins. Here's a new world, cloak and dagger world of a dark web. You don't know who's on the other side, right? So this can get bad very quickly. And the other incident that I had was, think about it, right? So they basically told you, hey, give me $7,000. You have the $7,000 in Bitcoin, and you try to go pay them. And this is where one of my clients basically had an issue. They were ready to pay. So it was a doctor's office, and the doctor's office basically said, you know what, I'm just going to pay it. And because I don't have a backup, right? So I don't have a backup. If I don't pay and if I don't decrypt my files, I don't have anything. So they said, let's pay. And their ransom was much smaller. This is an older case, so the ransom was only $4,000. So they said, let's pay. They tried to pay, they couldn't pay. The payment gateway failed. And so now they had 5 or 6, I think it was 5, it's a doctor's office of 5 or 6 desktops, all of them encrypted, and they couldn't get to their records. So there, what happened was, and you have to think about it, if you have run a practice for over 15 years and you lose all of your data, what are you going to go do on Monday when you get there and you have no record of how many patients do you have, how many patients are coming in, how many patients do you have to bill, who's coming in at what time, what does my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday look like? I have nurses and medical assistants and doctors coming to the office, and I have to pay them money. So there we had to come up with a way we called AT&T. AT&T was their company. We had to get telephone bills for the last 12 months. And 2 people on the front desk had to call every number on the telephone bill to find out if they were patients when was their appointment, when was the last time they came back. And so it
Mhm.
took them 2 months to rebuild all of the database, the electronic medical record and practice management system with all of the records to make sure that they had accurate system to start practicing again. So the challenge over here is it does not matter how small you are, you still have to go through the process. I'll give you another example. A
Okay, and
very,
we've got
go
like
ahead.
minutes left. So is it a short example?
Well, it's one of those where we had to pay $450,000 in ransom,
Mhm.
right? So we had so the end all be all, or the moral of the story is make sure you have good backups.
Okay.
Make sure, even if you're a 1-person company, or if you are a 2-person company, or if you're a 5,000-person company, have a good cyber insurance.
Mhm.
Cyber insurance helps you pay for the ransom, covers all the cost of hiring attorneys,
Mhm.
hiring consultants like me,
Mhm.
and taking care of you so it's not coming out of your own pocket.
Wow, those are really scary examples. And I am very thankful that I have paid attention to all the articles I've read over the years and people like yourself sharing good advice. So I'm trying to be careful with my passwords. I make sure I have virus software. We talked about with public Wi-Fi, having all your built-in security turned on as well. And I also have an online backup. So Sanjay, just really quick, we are running a little over, but I think this is such an important topic. So what happens to your files? Let's say you have all the backups and you say, well, I have all my records backed up. I'm not paying you $10,000 to get my records back. What do the hackers do with the records if you don't
They
pay?
don't care.
They
If
don't
you
care.
don't pay, and you build back, they will try to attack you again.
Okay.
So the moral of the story is, if you have backups, don't just go to store and start again. Make sure you have a good firewall that protects you from getting infected again. Make sure you have a good anti-malware software. So before you come back online with your backups, make sure you focus on your cyber hygiene.
Okay.
Make sure everything is clean. Make sure there is no remnants of that same ransomware in your network.
Mhm.
Work with a consultant to get it fixed, inspected before you come back online.
Wow, that's great advice. Ransomware, it's real, folks. Pay attention to it. It can happen to you. If it can happen to a hospital, it can happen to you, no matter how big your company is, like Sanjay said. So, a sobering thought for the end of our 3-part cybersecurity system series. But as Sanjay has said, if you build a good cyber hygiene system for yourself and remember to get cyber insurance, especially if you're a bigger company, you will be able to handle it if it happens. So we want to thank Sanjay for being a regular guest this year and for also doing this wonderful 3-part series for us. And for those of you who have really enjoyed listening to Sanjay's advice and examples like I have, he's going to be back next year. So keep an eye out for future Sanjay episodes. And want to thank Sanjay Deo again of 24/7 Security. As you see on screen, there's his website. If you want to get in touch with him, it's 24/7security.com. And you've been a wonderful guest, Sanjay. Thank you so much. And I've learned a lot, and I hope everybody else has too. So we have to go rogue for now, but we will be back on next week, December 28th, with our last episode of the year. So tune in for that. And if you'd like to learn more about Rogue Tulips, check out our website, roguetulips.com. Also encourage you to check out the 501cleague.net, which is a virtual membership group for everyone in the nonprofit community and the people who love them. And they're offering some CAE study groups for 2021, as well as a CAE prep course. You can check that out at the 501cleague.net. So on behalf of myself and Agnes, thanks for watching. And thank you again, Sanjay Deo, 24/7 Security. So if you have any questions, reach out to Sanjay, and I'm sure he'll be happy to help you.
Thank you
So
again. Thanks, Cecilia. Thanks, Agnes. Have a great holiday season, and we'll see you folks next year.
great. Thanks, Sanjay. We'll see you then. All right. Bye, everybody.